during our interview. A warrior may surrender, but they never quit. This is a critical distinction woven into the fabric of the book. Varner says, when we quit, we just stop trying and putting forth the effort. We start talking ourselves out of the challenge, pointing out to why it won't work, and finding selective proof that we are right in our assessment. So that won't work. The mythical Sioux warrior, Crazy Horse, became a reluctant leader at the Battle of Little Bighorn on 25th June 1876. During a raging blizzard in early January of 1877, along Montana's Tongue River, General Miles and his troops opened fire on Crazy Horse and his camp. He managed to return fire, but they were eventually holding off soldiers, firing ammunition with their bows and arrows. While he was able to retreat 1,100 Native Americans to Fort Robinson, he never quit or lacked effort. But he eventually surrendered because his tribe was cold and hungry, and it was the best option to avoid all of them being hunted down. The second wisdom is use what you have. Tecumseh, the great Shawnee chief and warrior, said, when you arise in the morning, give thanks for the morning light, for your life and strength. Give thanks for your food and the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies with yourself. Vana says that Tecumseh speaks to our ability to see the bounty in the first place. He says that the Ottawa tribe used birch bark for housing and the canoes that made them successful in trade and war. The Lakota used every part of the buffalo to make everything from clothing to bowstrings and canteens. Often, when we have constraints, it forces us to be resourceful. As Vanas explains, when we see past our fear, resistance, and confusion, we realize we are all surrounded by an embarrassment of riches. Number three, our medicine bag. In Native American culture, a medicine bag is filled with sacred, meaningful items such as herbs like tobacco and cedar, beads, bones, arrowheads, stones, and animal claws or teeth that hold power of protection, strength, good luck, or healing for the person who carries it. Vanas explains that people often wore it around their neck and they became meaningful during times of ceremonies, battles, or illness. He helps us visualize carrying our own medicine bag with things and experiences that make us unique and powerful in our own way. We can draw from our medicine bags during good or tough times. Number four, prepare for the battle. Vanus took part in a vision quest ceremony, which is a spiritual awakening over 4 days with no food, water, and shelter. Just you, your prayer pipe, and a blanket.
Ranjani ji, your voice is not audible.
It is that inner voice and intuitive side of who we are. It's our creator given radar, but we tend to neglect it because we are too busy. That radar is asking us, are we going in the right direction? Number five, vision killers. Sometimes the biggest challenges to seeing our vision through come from those closest to us. Vaness described how in the early 1800s, Sequoia of the Cherokee Nation had a vision for his people to read and write, or what he would call talking leaves. They didn't have a system then, and people thought he was crazy to invest all the time to develop it. So much so that his wife threw his project in the fire. He was not deterred, and by the 1830s, he developed a written system that helped his tribe become one of the most literate groups in America. When I shared my vision of starting a podcast with a close friend, he told me it would be a waste of time. Looking back, it was bad advice, and the podcast has been one of the best investments in my entire life. The next one is counting coup. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in the face of it. Vanas talks about his stand in the door moment when he had to jump 5,000 feet out of an airplane to complete his intensive 2 week training at the US Air Force Academy jump school program. I had faced and conquered my fear, he said. The plain stripes had a tradition in combat that was more honorable than killing an enemy on the battlefield. It was called counting coup. Instead of striking their enemy down with an arrow, they would simply touch them with a coup stick, a decorated staff resembling a riding crop, while in the heat of the battle. This courageous act of confronting the enemy face to face and in essence saying, I'm not afraid of you, the ultimate act of bravery. This reminds me of Crazy Horse's War, cry during the Battle of Little Bighorn, and his Sioux tribe defeated General Custer. Next is overcome the impossible. When Vanes received an invite to hike the Kalalua Trail, he may have bit off more than he could chew. Dubbed by many as the Kalalua Death Trail, which is 11 miles each way, while traversing slick mud and steep, crumbly volcanic rock pathways. On the way in, his body was in such distress he went into exhaustion. On the way out, he broke his foot and toe crossing a riverbed, while still having to hike out another 10 miles. He said he just put one foot in front of the other and moved forward. The next one is keep your fire lit. One of my favorite lessons was that of the firekeeper in Native American culture, which was apparently a sacred duty. A good fire was the heartbeat of a village. Vanas said it provided the ability to cook food, shine light in the dark, warm the village, and provided a place for people to congregate. Most importantly, it was a crucial component for ceremonies. Vanas teaches us that just like the firekeeper, we need to nurture our own physical and mental well being so our fire doesn't burn down to an ember or even burn out. So, this was the beautiful article. I'll just read few more quotes and then we'll end the session. Lessons from the Native American culture. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity, says Hippocrates. Everything on earth has a purpose, every disease an herb to cure it, and every person has a mission. So their biggest things that they believe in is well-being and collective harmony, the importance of roles in an integrated culture, and mental health, cultural transmission of values and resilience, learning and reflecting. These are all something they practice every day, the Native Americans. And their that they have given is timeless masters. They have given timeless wisdom to humanity. And each and every quote or proverb that they have given has so much inner meaning and depth that each topic can be discussed for a day's session. This is my humble opinion. And I hope you took some lessons from this beautiful article. And if anybody would like to add your own wisdom, your own sharing experience, please feel free to unmute or raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you for adding your energy to this wonderful group meditation. Yes, Ram, please go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Ranjani ji. It was a beautiful meditation. In my initial days, Native American music was one of my favorites as I meditated. So you took me back to those days. And, these ancient civilizations have a lot, or rather, has everything that the present humanity needs. We always have a understanding that the more we progress, that is the best. Yet it is time to look back and connect to the ancient civilizations wisdom, because everything is in there in truly living a fulfilled life, not a successful life, not a materialistic life, which is never fulfilling. Yet there is all that is needed in these ancient civilizations to live a holistic, fulfilling life. So thanks a lot. And you reminded me as well about the barrier, the word barrier. It has, let's say, the right understanding here is of being a spiritual barrier, the light, the one who carries the light. And my recent book, which I read, which is The Way to the Peaceful Barrier, it as well explains how it could be, this journey could be so tough, yet it is such a rewarding one for everyone who walks the path. So thanks a lot for sharing this Native American wisdom. Meanwhile, I think there was some internet glitch. The fourth point was missed. Kindly share the article in the group so that we can go through it. Thank you.
Definitely, Ram. I'll share it. And yes, it is all one of my favorite topic is about the Native American in general, their life, how simple they were in their living, and living with nature in a very harmonious and balanced way. How it might, in today's terms, be non-ambitious, but they were so peaceful in their own ways, and they've taught a lot to all of us. And it is a favorite topic for me also. And I read a few things about these people and their culture and their wisdom, how they live in groups, how integrated living was fostered. All of it is so touching, so nice to read. And thank you. And this book, Warrior Within, seems like a nice book. So maybe when you get a chance, you can try if you can get a e-version or a hard copy, and you can see if you can read it.
Yeah, thank
And yes, thanks to all the masters who have written in the chat.
you. We have Mridula ji wanted to share probably.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Hi,
yes.
Mridula ji. Welcome
Hi,
back. Long time.
Ranjani. Yeah, I just joined the end. I just heard what you were saying about the Native Americans. Um, they lived on this planet for thousands of years. Even when the planets, I mean, when the continents were not together, there's from Americas to South America up to Alaska. They came to Asia. They roamed everywhere, and they didn't leave a single remnant, a footprint. They didn't leave. We're leaving so much footprint now, but they didn't leave anything. They lived for thousands of years, and they blended with nature. They lived with nature, and I just wanted to say that, people forget because they didn't leave, all the things that we're leaving on this planet. They came, they existed for probably a millennia, and we don't even know because they blended with nature so beautifully. I just wanted to share that point too. So
Thank you. Yes, very true statement. They use the water bodies a lot, and that is how they moved. I think they use the rivers as their main mode of commute, and they blended with nature, like just like the animals and birds. They were
I mean,
another
they didn't. What I
species.
mean is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I mean is they didn't leave trash.
Yeah,
They didn't
correct.
leave, uh, things that aren't degradable. There's
Very
no
true.
memory of them because though they existed, there's no memory that they existed so synchronously with the nature. They didn't leave that kind of memory. we're leaving it now. So we have to see what happens. But, right, they lived for so many years. We don't even know where they roamed because they didn't leave the what do you call, a trail of their path. We're leaving trails in this planet. So I just remembered, and I really liked, I have to go to Montana. I think you mentioned Custer's Last Stand, with the Native American person there. Is that what
Yes,
I heard,
yes,
yeah,
yes, Cust.
yeah.
Yes.
That was
It
in
also
Montana.
reminds, yes.
A
It
little bit
also
more.
reminds,
Yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
In the 90s, early 90s, there used to be a show in America when I was there as a student. I used to watch this serial called Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh
On
yeah.
Saturday nights, it
Uh,
would come.
Yeah.
So it was such a beautiful series only on Saturdays. It's about a city doctor going and living with the native Indian tribes to help them. And that was a show I simply loved, even though I didn't know much about spirituality or anything at that time. Something attracted to me that show that I would always sit and watch that alone.
Yeah, I liked
So
Seymour a lot too. She acted for many years. I used to watch that too.
correct.
But
It was
yeah, yes. You mentioned Jane Seymour, and now I have to mention this. It's very unrelated to your topic, but it's really related to a movie she did, regarding a woman that received uh, she needed a heart transplant, and she got a heart transplant from this young man, and she wrote a book. Um, the recipient of the heart transplant. It's called A Change of Heart, and the movie's on in it's in Prime. It's called, if you get a chance, Ranjani ji or anyone, it's a beautiful movie. It's called The Heart of a Stranger. Same Jane Seymour acted in it. What happens is there's cell memory, a little bit of the person before. So she actually has dreams about the donor, and she finds their family and she gets in touch with them. And then after that cell memory is gone. So Deepak Chopra writes a nice foreword in that book called A Change of Heart, a memoir. Sorry, I got sidetracked when you mentioned Jane Seymour in the
no
medicine
worries.
woman. Yeah.
Not your fault. Maybe I also should not have talked about serial and all that. So
No, but
not a
she was
problem.
very good. It was all in the West, right? It was in the
Yes,
West time. But
yes.
she was so good in this movie. I just saw it again. It came in the early 2000s.
Okay.
But it's about soul and spirituality. So I thought I would share.
No worries.
We think
Thank
that,
you.
yeah, we think that sometimes, when because, transplants go on all over the world, but we don't know what happens to the memory of the cells, and there's a soul attached to the organs, right? It wasn't just
Correct.
so, but she was very good in it. She's a very good actor. So, yeah. And that show was very good too. They really depicted the West. But
So
I really I read a lot about Native American history. They were just amazing people, and I'm thinking of them a lot lately, because just what all you were mentioning. They were beautiful people. Um, they knew how to live with, how the earth is. So I wish sometimes we also lived like that with nature. We build all these buildings and houses and things. I don't know what we're doing, but hopefully we can find peace in this too somehow. Okay, thank you, Ranjani ji. I don't want to go off on a tangent tonight. Thank you
sure.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the people who are patiently listening to both of us talking something we should have taken offline, but it's okay. Never mind. So thanks for your patience again. And friends, we'll connect again next week with another topic. Till then, have a great day or a restful sleep wherever you're logging from. And thank you again for adding your energy to the group. Take care, stay happy, healthy, peaceful.